but I want to refresh y'all memories. 7-year-old Jocelyn Adams shot and killed after a car she was in was shot up while in a drive-through at the McDonald's restaurant in the 3200 block of West Roosevelt, North Lawndale neighborhood, West Side, Chicago. Her dad was critically wounded and taken into surgery. Y'all, when I read that, my heart dropped. It was like playing out. You know how I go and I'm just I don't stroll down Facebook all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was this particular day that I did, and someone had sent me the video, sent me the story and everything, and my heart stopped. It
Mm-hmm.
actually skipped a beat. I cried for months because we done lost it, y'all. Okay, we have really lost sight. I don't know if y'all, we got this gang stuff going on, and I have this young man on the phone because I want him to explain some things to y'all. He wasn't even in the gang, okay? That's first of all, he was affiliated,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We gonna clear that up. And like I told y'all before, I like to get the story from the source. I'm not, I don't go on YouTube and go and get all of that information from there and put it out there because if you don't hear it from the source, it means nothing.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So on the line, I have Mr. Jonte Adams, father of Jocelyn Adams. Thank you so much, Mr. Adams, for tuning in, for even calling in today. How are you doing? Hello, Mr. Adams.
He was here a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Did I turn it down? Mr. Adams. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Man.
Mr. Adams.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah.
now. I would
I'm
like.
sorry, the phone's having technical difficulties.
No problem. No problem at all. I thought it was. I thought but how are you doing today? And I just want you to.
Uh,
Um,
I'm doing okay. It's kind of echoing. Like,
maybe it's.
is it echoing on your end?
Yeah, I think you probably need to turn the background music off. Let me see. Anything, the noise in the background, because this thing picks up everything. Is that better? Let me
I
see.
still, it's still kind of echoing, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I
We can
can
hear
hear you
you.
loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing much better. Like I said, I appreciate you for even having me on the show. Give me the opportunity to even speak out.
I want you to introduce yourself, and I know that you're still dealing because I tell people all the time that families, parents, people think that it's some type of time frame or time limit that you have to grieve, and I tell people all the time that there's no time limit. I have families, I have moms who have and dads who have lost their children 15, 20 years ago and they are still grieving. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to talk to the
Yeah.
people, and I want you to, because this is very important. It was a lot of like misinformation put out there, about the situation. And like I said, that was tragic to me. I'm in the DMV area, and I'm telling you, that broke my heart to hear about that baby and your situation. Let's talk about, if you can, if you feel up to it, let's talk about that day and where you're at right now. What are you dealing with? you know um a message for our youth, because I know that you have seen the issues that's going on. Chicago closed out last year with over 1,000 people murdered. okay,
Yeah.
last year, and I just want you to, just tell your story.
Oh well, my name is Jonte Adams. I'm Jasmine Adams' father. April 18th of last year, I was going to take my daughter to get some McDonald's from the west side on the west side of Chicago when my car was shot up. Um, a lot of social media and stuff had bashed me like real bad. Really, like to be honest, like I have received a lot of criticism from like I don't want to say like Caucasian people, but when you get bashed from your own kind in those type of situations, it's a
Mm-hmm.
different type of hurt and it's like a different type of letdown. Like so I had got a lot of criticism, a lot of hatred, a lot of blame. You know what I'm saying for that what happened to my daughter. And I took accountability. I'm
Right.
still taking accountability. Like no one knows what I go through on a daily basis, but I take full accountability because at the end of the day, I know what I was involved in. That does lead to those type of things. But to kick a person while they down, like, there's no good in that. Like,
No, it's
so I
not.
received a lot of criticism and things like that. Like, good, I'm not weak minded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
people don't know it's people that's out here that's dealing with mental health issues for real and suicidal thoughts for real. Like, social media
Mm-hmm.
plays a part in that. So
Something just happened.
Yeah, I think it's called drops.
Hmm.
Mr. Adams. Let's see.
We're having a technical
We're
difficulty
having
or
a
two.
little technical difficulty, y'all. We sorry. Let me see. Let me hang up and get him to call back in.
Hmm.
We're gonna give him a few minutes and we're going to have him to call back in. But like I was saying with that case, we got you back.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's my phone or what,
Yeah, I can
but
hear like a
uh,
little echoing in your background, but we're completely quiet in here, and we ain't gonna let the devil come in between getting this conversation had and getting this information out here. So as many times as we has to call back and
Hmm.
do this until we get it done, we're gonna get it done.
Right.
Okay. I have all
I
the time in the
appreciate it.
world. Okay. So continue with what you were saying, sir.
Yeah, like I was saying, I have received a lot of backlash, hatred, criticism, and things like that. But and where I'm at right now, mentally, I was taking mental therapy right after it. I've always been a God fearing person, so
Mhm.
like I kind of understood what was at hand the moment it happened more than others because like a lot of people have been in my shoes. I've been shot 10 times. I've been to the penitentiary 3 times. Like I've been in situations where there's no one else to pray to but God, and only God can get me out of those situations.
That's
And even
right.
to this day, He's walking like getting me through it. Like so, a lot of people not gonna understand. They never will understand because it's not them. And I pray no one has to go through what I had to go through to wake up and to understand what we should be doing, how we should be living, who we should be living for, like things like that. So, but like, yeah, right now I'm taking mental therapy. I'm doing podcasts. Like, I just left Steve Harvey. I had a few
Yes, I
other big
watched that.
podcasts and things like
Mhm.
that. So, yeah, it's like I'm trying to make this better situation in Sweden.
Where are you at right now, and what can we do as a community to help you get into a better place? Like, I know that this can't be easy. I know that you see the situations that's going on all over the country. Gun violence is on an all-time high, and since 2015 there have been 91,650 people who have lost their life to gun violence. Just those 91,000 people, 88,000 of those people are black people, and the cases are unsolved. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, like believe it or not, before my daughter passed, I didn't. I had no stance on that. Honestly, I had
Mhm.
no stance on that because of how I was living and what I indulged in, and
Good
those
God.
numbers that you just said, like gang banging and affiliating yourself with gang bang, has a lot to do with those numbers. Like, so
Mhm.
I never really stood on that, but right now I stand on that because I see that it's all a system, and like you know what I'm saying, like well, how I live condone to the system. My daughter fell victim to the system. Yes, I have a choice. Like I have my own choices, but at the end of the day, you know, America was built on systematic racism and like things like that. Like so, I played into that system. So those numbers are like a thousand last year alone shook me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everything hits me different now that I lost my daughter. It's like
Mhm.
you know I really see the way that I was living wasn't that way. So like black on black like is a real thing. Like that's an issue. Like self hate is a real issue. Like you know these things that's going on in the community.
Here we go again.
That's okay.
Hmm.
That's okay. We're just gonna close out and
Try it
we'll
again.
get them back in again. Y'all will be back. Let me see if I can call him. Okay. Hello. Hello.
He's got static.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
it must be the devil for real.
Yeah, it
But
is. But we gonna get this done. So it's okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, but like I was saying, you have to have people from those communities like that know what's really going on in those communities that can actually sit down with groups of guys and like you know what I'm saying, actually talk to them. And you actually have to have police that want to serve and protect and like you know sit on the blocks that's like the gun rates and the crime rate high. You police to like just sit right there on those blocks and like when the weather breaks and stuff, get the kids back outside. Don't keep them shacked up in no like YMCA's and youth centers are cool, but like when I was a child, I had imagination. I played basketball in alleys on Cray rims. We did everything. We made go karts
Mhm.
out of trash can tires and built clubhouses and stuff like that outside. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
a lot of the violence went unnoticed when I was growing up. I'm 30. I was born in '92. Like a lot of stuff wasn't right in my face how it is with these kids right now. Everything's right in their face, so they not getting a chance to imagine and they not getting a chance to actually be kids. You know
Do
what I'm
you
saying? So
think? Do you not to cut you off? But do you think that social media plays a big part of that?
yeah, because even in the Bible, God says don't worship idols. Like everybody has somebody that they look up to. Like and all of the rappers on social media, the basketball players on social media, like you know what I'm saying. So everybody that you
Mhm.
can possibly idolize is on social media, and like I believe that like hip hop rap alone plays a music. I mean plays a major part in gang violence.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
I'm 30. Okay, let me just give an example. When Lil Wayne started wearing skinny jeans, everybody started wearing skinny jeans. That's not a
Yeah.
bad act, but it just shows you how influential hip hop is.
Exactly. Exactly. And the key players of hip hop. I have been following. I've been an advocate for the murder cases for over almost 30 years. I started following the Chicago homicide watch. Okay, we also had one here in the DMV area. We had a DC homicide watch, but I had connected with some of the families, and to hear someone tell me that we live in a neighborhood where we can't even have our children outside to ride a goddamn bike, that broke my
Mm.
heart. That broke my heart. To talk to a mom who basically she knew that her son, she was going to lose her child no matter what her situation was. This child came from a two family household. A two parent household. These people had great jobs. This was a great little boy that was evolving in school. He was becoming just a great person. He was a great athlete. He was great in grades and stuff. But to hear this mom tell me that she basically was preparing herself for the death of her child, that broke me down. That broke me
Mm.
down. Being a parent living in Chicago. Talk to these people and tell them what it's like, because a lot of times, like like I said, I've been following this for a very long time. I know that a lot of the apartment complexes, public housing and things, just like here, because it's the same damn thing going on here, John Tate, to be honest
Everywhere.
with you. It's going on everywhere. But to have the apartment complexes, your public housing and everything, the buildings knocked down. Explain to people what that did, because I tell people all the time that they went and knocked those apartment complexes down, and it just made people who
gave them no hope.
It just not only that, it moved all these people together blocks over and caused these beefs because they had beefs before. Explain to people, because like I said, I don't live there, I read about it, but to actually have someone from Chicago to actually talk to that can make me understand what's going on. Like, explain to these people exactly what that did. I do it again.
Okay, let me take this off.
Yeah, he'll be calling in again. Let me see if I can. Hello?
Yeah, I apologize.
No problem. Don't keep
could
apologizing. No, what I was saying was, I know that I was trying. I talk to the people all the time, and I know that displacement of black people has caused a lot of drama, because you had apartment complexes where people lived, and once they knocked that down, it made people kind of like migrate. Like, explain to people what that really did, Jonte.
Oh yeah, it definitely segregated people. A lot of people didn't really get to grow up with their family members. Cause at first, a lot of those people who's like in those projects, and I'm not even from the projects, but I have people who lived out south, like from the village, who from the Hornets and things like that. So yeah, so when they tore down buildings, a lot of people didn't really get to come up with they real family members. A lot of people had to like migrate to other people like neighborhoods and grow up with other people's like families and make those people's family. And because of like friction between certain blocks and stuff like that, so it definitely caused like damage in community, things like that, because certain stuff like projects in those buildings was all black people kind of had, but like where I'm from, a lot of people, I'm from West Humboldt Park. Like, we didn't really have no projects. Like, a lot of where I'm from, a lot of our grandparents and things like that own houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, the building my mom stays in now, my auntie once owned before, they lost it and things like that. So I know I kind of come from where people. My granddad owned house. Like, I kind of come from like not owning property, but my community wasn't as far as like a project. Like, I'm probably like 5 minutes away from downtown with a straight train shot. So like the community I'm from and stuff like that it's definitely still like the minority is more of like a Hispanic and a black community. But like Chicago is definitely segregated by like bylaws and stuff. You'll go to certain places, it'll be all Mexicans. Then you go to now everything, like anything that's a minority is black and Hispanics. Like, same thing that field of prison.
Yeah.
Black and Hispanics.
That's where a lot of the crimes are going on, and it happens here too. We have police, that can be sitting right there on the block, right? And we have these fancy smancy ass bullet detectors and all of this bullshit. But when somebody gets murdered, it be people actually getting murdered right while the police is sitting there. Okay, right there on the block. It doesn't stop nothing. And I think that gentrifying is basically it started to push us out and put us in these bad situations where we hate each other. We letting these beefs and stuff, like, if we understood the real enemy in this thing, we wouldn't be out here killing each other. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be out here killing each other. What is okay? I know a lot of the older gang like leaders are locked up in prison right now. Do you think that that has set the pace for how these young people are acting right now, where they just don't give a damn?
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. This thing want to keep on playing with me, but that's all right. It's all right, y'all. Y'all just bear with me because it's trying to play with us, but we're going to get this out because I feel like this is needed, y'all. Like, y'all don't know what this young man has been through, and we have all of these children. We have all of these children that want to be a part
Yeah.
of this. They want to be a part of this mess, and they don't even understand the toll of the situation.
They
You
don't
know what I'm
understand the
saying?
consequences.
They don't understand the consequences. They don't understand. So, like I was saying, do you think that the gang members being locked up and just losing their foundation, losing the way of doing things? Because we had a street code back in the day. No women, no children.
Mhm.
And that has not been the case here lately. Even in the streets of the DMV, it has not been the case. We have lost children in the mix of this stuff. And they don't even call it gang banging no more. They call it block banging, basically.
Yeah.
Is there some truth to that?
I
Like,
I learned one thing I learned about like gang banging has like laws like and like a vice lord laws is basically a Muslim's laws.
mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like so when you talking about like structure, I know they don't want us to like knowledge each other. Like gang banging wasn't labeled gang banging. Like gang banging was put together in communities to actually protect and serve their own communities against like white supremacists and stuff like that. Like so gang banging never was that until they took the people with the knowledge off the streets. Like I was saying, the same way they did a Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. When Malcolm X went and discovered white Muslims, that's when he became a target. When he found that he was getting lashed by Elijah Muhammad, I believe that's when he became a target. Once he realized that the system, like, is bigger than what you think you're fighting for. Like, and once you take people who can
Yeah.
knowledge, enlighten other black people specifically about the real war that's going on, to like they say, you kill the head, the body fall. Like, so yeah, like taking gang cheese off the street because you couldn't do anything with gang cheese was on the street. Like it was stuff you like. If you just go shoot up a block just because you want to, that's considered an unauthorized move, and you'll get in trouble by your gang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you
Mm-hmm.
take those type of guys off the street, and everybody just like chickens with their head cut off.
What do you think that the rap, because I mean, I can't just say it's a Chicago thing where a lot of these families are losing. I mean, a lot of these rappers are losing their lives. It's not just a Chicago thing. It's a DC thing. It's a California thing. It's this stuff is spreading all over the world when it comes to this type of thing. Do you think that the rap, well, y'all have drill music down there. Do you think that that set the pace and just changed things and changed people's way of thinking and just brought all of this craziness on that's going on in Chicago right now, John Tay?
Yes. I mean, like I said, you got to think about how hip hop. I believe hip hop and comedy is like the two like most dangerous professions you probably could get in because
Mm-hmm.
of like the you know what I'm saying, the following and the things you saying and stuff like that. Like once you create a following, you become like a target. Like I believe, like this is just my opinion. Like in hip
Yeah.
hop, like I say, you got to think once certain rappers start wearing skinny jeans, everybody start wearing skinny jeans. A
Mm-hmm.
rapper bad as hell gold, everybody down their hair gold. A rapper buy Rolex, everybody buying Rolexes. So
Yeah.
hip hop is that influential. Like it's very
And
influential.
I
I
remember
know
back
because
in the
I've
day,
been influenced by it.
yeah, I'm older. Okay, I'm old. You 30, I'm 51, but I remember back in the day they used to do a beef like a beef rap, and a beef like a battle, and they would get on the floor, they would do their little thing, and that would be the end of it. That shit would not, roll over to the point where people are actually losing their lives. People are being disrespectful, where they're just pulling people out of graves and all types of stuff. They trying to do it to us again, but it's okay.
Maybe moving around.
Yeah, I was thinking about. We're back. The next time that it clicks off, you can.
I believe like after Tupac died with hip hop, I believe controversy started really selling.
Yes.
Like beefing started really selling. Like so now you starting to talk about like people faking beefs, people faking shootings, and people pulling all type of stunts for album sales. And a lot of people said Tupac sold out once he went and condoned into the Biggie and the East Coast West Coast thing.
Right.
But like that move right there, kind of like from Tupac, made it cool to kind of like, because he had this record that was the number one record on the chart. Hit 'Em Up was the number one record. There was also a diss record that led to people dying and getting shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely influential because it's the same thing going on today till this day, but it's just worse now because it's more. It was never this many guns on the streets. Like guns is on the streets at a high rate. Like they ain't no gun stores.
How you think they getting it? How you think they getting there? Because I had an issue where I had talked to a couple of brothers from Chicago, and they said basically like people was just coming and dropping crates of guns in the middle of their damn streets and all of that. Is there some truth to that? Why do you think that there are more guns and people are not buying them from the gun stores and stuff and all of that type of stuff, and they not breaking them, actually breaking into these places and stealing these guns and evidence lockup places and all of that stuff? Why you think that there is a significant...
Is there any truth to the guns being dropped in the community?
Is there any truth to it, know?
Honestly, like... A lot of people will believe like it's a conspiracy theory because to me, I've heard that. I've been hearing that for years. Like I done heard that in prison. I done heard it. But at the end of the day, the same way you can read 1,000 murders or you can read 80,000 murders, 90,000 murders, or you can Google like it's too many guns on the street. There's no gun stores getting broken in. Nobody's purchasing guns at the rate that they're on the street. Even with a gun card, nobody's purchasing them at the rate that they're on the street. So you it has to be something else.
It has to be some truth to that.
Police put drugs back on the street. Other tactics. So
can you repeat that?
To me, nobody really
police.
cares.
He said that the police put drugs back on the street as a tactics. Explain that to us, Jonte.
Okay, have you ever seen Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence?
Yes.
When he was trying to get the diamond, and then they found the diamond fell in the keys of coke.
Right.
And he like, no, why don't we just put them back out there for bait and try to catch? You know what I'm saying? It's always the truth to a movie or things like that. So I feel like it can't happen. And like, we come from Chicago, being incarcerated. I've been in situations where the police asked me for guns, like asked my brothers for guns, and they let us walk. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying? So you'll never know. You can't put nothing past the government. Like, not even the police.
Right.
Especially not the police.
Because I think everybody has the same issue with the police all over the damn country.
Well, I just happen to know some police who have done some real crooked stuff.
I mean, the police take an oath. Like, when you get in the gang, you take an oath. Like, oaths are real. Like, so people got to...
People... He's gone again?
Yeah, it's okay. Close out and let him call back in. I was going to have him call my phone. But it's not this phone. It's just, he's calling.
I think it's something where he is.
Hello?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it was like I was saying, like people oath to to protect and do right by theirs. And like I believe that's just like what the police do. They protect their eyes. We can see with all the cop shootings and the hidden footage from police brutality and things like that of that nature. So you have to really understand what type of police, like what type of organization they really are behind the scenes. Like
Yeah, I
not
noticed
saying
that.
all cops because it's good cops, but
Yeah.
it's definitely bad cops.
When
It's
you
good and
look
bad
at
everywhere.
LAPD and the Rodney King situation and even the Biggie and the Tupac situation, it was LAPD that was involved in Biggie's murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were involved in it, and they have a way. I mean, when it comes to the fact that we had law enforcement people that were on law enforcement working for Suge Knight and his whole criminal organization. You already know, like they say that LAPD is like the most corrupt law enforcement agency in the damn world, not the country, the damn world. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at when you look at their background and all of the stuff that they have done, you can understand because they really are corrupt. We do have situations where, because that whole situation with the Biggie killing, it was a lot of police that was involved in that actually worked for LAPD.
Working for P Diddy.
Yeah, working. Yeah, it was a mess, and oh my God, it's we can talk for hours. Like I want to give you a spat on this show because I want to target in because this is important for our children to understand only he can explain this to them.
Right.
In a way where they will understand. Yeah, because he done
sides.
been on both sides of
Right.
it. Only he can explain that shit to them for real. And I want to make this like a every week segment where we're talking about these things, and maybe it can help you get into a mind frame where you can get out here because you have a job to do. Like I told you on the phone earlier, you have a job to do, sir.
I already know.
You know
I've
that?
been hearing this everybody that talks to me on another note tell me like you can do this or like you can make a change or you can be the reason for this in Chicago, and like that's all I've really been doing, like is trying to preach positively, get on podcasts, get on radios and stuff like that. Not for
That's
for
awesome.
attention, because I feel like that's my only way to repay my baby back. Like is
You
to
got a
help
ministry.
other kids and to
You
try
got
to
a
make a
job.
change in the
Yeah,
community.
you
Like
do. You have
because I know how
ministry.
influential Chicago is and like the drill culture, quote unquote. Like, I know how influential that is to other places, and like me come from there, like, and like it's nothing. You gang nothing out of gang culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you only gonna lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? What you think is winning in the beginning, you best believe it's gonna come with a price to pay, like an
Good
ultimate price.
God.
Like, so
You better speak. I want you to speak to these young people right now, and I want you to speak to the people who have their children, have this app downloaded, and they have their children sitting down right now listening to you. I want you to speak to them right now, Jonte, and tell them what it really is. And I'm gonna leave you the floor to do that.
Again.
We're gonna be closing out of this after he finished, so it's gonna be all right. Like I said, I've been waiting for this opportunity to have this young man on the show just to speak to the people. We're back. Like I said, I'm gonna give you the floor, and I want you to speak to our youth right now, and I want you to talk to them and tell them. I want you to have a conversation with our youth right now, with these people who are thinking about becoming a part of the gang, who are being forced to be in the gang. You know what I'm saying? I want you to talk to them people right now.
And I do have a question when he's done.
Okay.
okay. So if you got any intentions on joining the gang, it definitely ain't worth it, especially like if you have children. Like me actually affiliating myself with gangs, having the experience and like taking all the losses and stuff that come with it, it's not worth it because even like before gunshots and before the loss of my child, even when I was going to prison, like I had nobody to reach out to but the same people, my mother, my girlfriend, and my sister. Like I never got no money received from gang. I never received a letter from the gang members, let alone no money or no money on the phone to talk to any gang member. So them type of situations would let you know why it's working. And if you get far up into the part you're losing homies and you're going to funerals and things like that, you have to really start thinking like about what matters and like who's really there. Like if you were to die, who like you gone, but you still leaving the mother to grieve, you still leaving a sister, still leaving an auntie, a grandmother, people to hurt and mourn over you. And like you have to really sit back and understand that every decision you make don't just affect you; it affects everyone around you. The least people you like. I'm a witness to that. I'm speaking from experience. Like decisions I have made, things I have said, people I associated myself with, all came back. Like despite me trying to change and everything, because I was walking through a straight path for at least a year, but you're not gonna turn yourself over to God without giving Him something. So if you call yourself indulging in any type of gang activity, just know that it might not even hurt you. It might hurt someone around you. Like I had to lose my daughter for me to understand this. Like I said, I never indulged in Black Lives Matter, none of these things until I lost my daughter because I'm really done living that way. And now I really understand and like the message that I have to put out there. I'm full-fledged for getting all the young men, all the young fathers, especially young Black fathers, to really understand the fight that we fighting. It's not a black or white thing. It's a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? So these people don't want us to acknowledge each other. They don't want us to enlighten each other. They want us to stay dumb. They want us to stay, you know what I'm saying? They want us to forget about history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to put back out there, like, everything that I know. I've never been an ignorant brother. You know what I'm saying? I know about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. It's just I never utilized my knowledge and I never put the good energy out there. And I just want to put the same good energy out there as much as I was putting that bad energy out there.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. You are. I was angry. Like I said, you know, when you hear a 7-year-old beautiful little girl, you know, being gunned down, lose her life to gun violence, and you out here, we get caught up in this YouTube bloggers and all of this other stuff, you know, and we you know, I'm the type of person I had to step away from that, and I said, you know what, it's going to be a time where I have that young man in this studio where he's going to be talking about and he's going to tell the people the truth. When I started watching your live videos and had to get to know you from that standpoint, all of that stuff that they were saying, that shit went out the window. It really did. It let me know, like cases like your babies, let me know how people would basically, they exploit families who have been through these type of things. Mm-hmm. They exploit y'all. Hello? Went off again. Like I was saying, they exploit the families who have been through these type of things. You know, they exploit these families, you know, who go through these type of things and stuff. And, you know, I appreciate the fact that you even, you know, gave me some time. I sent you a text, and I want you to really consider that, what I sent you, because I think that, for real, I did. I sent you a text. I want you to consider that, because I think that you out here telling your testimony, giving your testimony, and walking in your truth is going to wake up a lot of young people. They'll be able to actually see what this thing does. They got it misconstrued when it comes to joining these gangs or even being affiliated, because whether you join it or be affiliated with it, it's all the same thing. You still have the same outcome. Yeah, it's all the same thing. You don't even have to be a part of it. You don't have to be born into this shit. You can be affiliated.
I mean, like when the
the
police come and get you and ask you how you know them, you part of the conspiracy.
Exactly.
Like it's all a conspiracy. Like, so if you're running with these guys, like that means you got knowledge into what's going on. That's all the conspiracy is. You got knowledge. you know what's going on, so you part of it.
Yeah. Has anyone been arrested, charged or anything with your baby's murder?
Uh, yes. Everybody involved. She actually had a fourth person involved.
Good
Not involved
God.
with the
Oh
murder, but
How
my.
many? What?
another
Four
guy from a
people.
whole another state who purchased the
Mm-hmm.
weapons actually had wound up getting locked up. So, like, God was just working, like, and he's still working. Like, everybody incarcerated. Extra guy got incarcerated who purchased the guns, and like, it's still a lot of coverage going on. Like, every day somebody's reaching out, that want to do an interview or a documentary, or like we have people that's making statues, and a lot of stuff
Mhm.
that's just going on that's positive for her in honor of her name. Like, she also has a memorial at her school. Her name's engraved at the
But
ground
you
of her school
did
and stuff like
that,
that. So,
Jonte. You did that because I've been watching you, and I've been watching how you have been so involved. You were making all of this stuff, happen. So you need
I
to,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
you really are. You're making it happen. When I look at all of the beautiful videos and everything, all of the pictures, I know who played a big part in that baby's life. That's why no motherfucking body can tell me nothing. They can't tell me nothing because it's the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding.
Mm-hmm.
When I seen all them videos and pictures and everything, and I'm not trying to knock her mom or anything, but I saw that fire. I saw that love. I saw that compassion. You love that baby to death. And I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You always had videos of that baby. You always had pictures. That shit means something to a person like me. It shows me
I
that
appreciate it.
you had a lot of involvement in that baby's life.
Well, I
Great
got.
Yes,
father. Go
I
I
have
ahead,
one.
appreciate it.
Hay.
Yeah, I just have one quick question, and you asked it before, but I just wasn't clear on it. Was there any truth to weapons being dropped in the streets of Chicago, especially in minority communities? Guns and that kind of thing. I know I
So,
wasn't clear on your answer.
can you repeat yourself one time? Okay.
I said, was it any true? But I could ask you earlier, because we've seen on the internet, folks say that all we have to do is drive across the line, drop the guns in the neighborhood, and black folks will start killing themselves. Is there any truth to that, to your knowledge, that guns are being dropped in your communities in Chicago? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I know that KKK member already confirmed that.
Yeah, no, I've seen
Yeah.
that.
And I'm pretty sure it's not that it's dropped in there with crates, but they're making it available.
Yeah, well, no,
Just like he said, the
I didn't.
situation.
Yeah, yeah, because I wasn't clear on it.
Just like he said, the situation, it's just like no gun stores are being broken into.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is buying guns, so they got to be getting them from somewhere.
But here's the thing: it's 320 million people in the United States, and I'm talking about from adult to kids. There's 7 guns for every person in the United States, and I don't have one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I got me one. I got me one. And I went to the store and got it. I have a license to carry because, all of these crazy shit going on. Like, people was just trying to come in your house, all kinds of shit.
I got
Okay. But I had to do to protect myself and my family. Yeah. What was we? Oh, you asked him.
Hello?
I was just asking him. I just need the answer to that one question. Is it any
Go
truth?
ahead, read.
Oh
read.
yeah. Like that's not okay. I'm sorry again. But like I was saying, I don't think there's no presented, like, no real truth to it. But like, it's a well spread rumor. It's a real spread rumor, and like.
Okay.
Like I say, it not being no paperwork on guns being stolen from gun stores, or the amount of people. Like, if you have a gun card before go out to purchase them, nobody's purchasing them at the amount that they're on the street. So I believe, me personally, I believe it's some type of truth to it, but there's no real evidence that says that it
Okay.
happened.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. That makes sense. You know, like I said, they sit up there and they say it. You know, like you were saying that it's no guns being bought. There's no, you know, places being broken into. So it has to be some type of truth to it. How they getting them? I don't know, but somebody gotta be, you know, they gotta be getting them from somewhere because, like I said, when it comes to the gun violence situation up here in the DMV area, we have these illegal guns. I mean, they're not really illegal guns. We have these girlfriends buying guns for these, you know.
You can go to a gun show and buy a gun and don't have to produce.
Yeah,
nothing.
don't have to produce nothing to go to the gun show and buy, you know, to buy guns and stuff. And that's probably the issue that's going on. You know, that's a big issue. That's a major issue that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, if you think about the time period, like from the 70s, it was never this many amount of guns on the street ever.
No, it
was
wasn't.
never this amount of guns on the streets, like from the 70s, 80s to the 90s.
Okay.
Like, it's probably out of crowd of 10, 7 people have guns.
Right.
At least 5 to 7 people. The least 50% of the 10 have guns. With like army artillery type guns from AKs and, you know, extended clips and stuff like that. Like, so it's definitely something. Like, you got to think crack was used to destroy communities. Crack was used as a way to destroy communities. So I believe gun violence and like putting guns on the street could be one too.
Yeah. I would agree with you 1,000%, but we got to stop buying into the narratives.
Yeah, we
really got to stop letting the other people's perception become our reality.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I want to thank you, Jonte, for calling in. I'm going to call you because I sent you a message and I want you to take that in consideration. And I think that we can really reach some people. You know what I'm saying? I don't offer that opportunity to a lot of people, but I want to offer that opportunity to you. So I want you to just think about it. I'm gonna call you a little later. I thank you so much for giving us some time and just really talking with these children on these situations and our adults. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from my live stream and everything, but I thank you so much, and I promise I'm gonna give you a call in a couple of hours if that's okay.
And he's gone again.
Community Love and Black Roses Garden. Who do I have on the line?
I don't hear it. I don't hear anything.
It was a 390 number.
Yeah, that was Malik.
Okay, have him call back, or maybe I can call him back. Wait a minute. Let me see. Hello, Community Love and Black Roses Garden. Who do I have on the line?
You have Malik Phillips.
Hi, Malik.
Phillips, how are you?
Good, how are you?
That's good. We good. We glad to have you. I'm going to let your grandma take over.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself first? Can you hear me?
Okay. My name is...
Go ahead, sweetie.
My name is Malik Phillips, and I am in the 7th grade right now.
Okay. All right. I wanted you to come on, Malik, because a lot of people have been giving me feedback as to what we talked about yesterday, the student code of conduct. And because we have such a wide listening audience, I would like for you to share what you shared in class on yesterday. Well, in homeschool on yesterday, about the student code of conduct, about the bullying in school, about what happens when, one kid is doing the right thing, the other one's doing the wrong thing. So I'm going to just let you go for it. So go ahead, please.
So, I went to the student code of doing some research, and it says that there are actions that are supposed to be held against people who are attacking another student or bullying and harassing another student.
Right.
But there is in all of the levels, so they have like response levels for each of these things, and in each of these response levels, they have to do stuff with the teacher, and it not only is waiting for somebody to help you a bad situation for being the bullied, it's also a bad thing for the teacher because their time is taken away from the students because they have to go and explain the situation in the principal's office. So
you're breaking up a little bit. Little bit. So when the bully and the person that they're bullying gets called to the principal's office, tell folks what happens next, and then if you could explain how defense of yourself on school property as it relates to the student code of conduct. I'd appreciate you answering those two questions for the listening audience. Can you do that?
yes, what was the question?
Okay, the first question was, because you were talking about when a kid is being bullied, not only is the bully called into the office, but the person who's being bullied. And I know that your brother said on yesterday when that happened to him, he was doing the right thing, but they made each kid apologize to each other, and they sent them back into the classroom. So if you could give some, do you remember that piece of the conversation yesterday?
Yeah, I need to get email though because I don't quite know what happens in the principal's office since I've never been sent to the principal's office. Because I never had a problem with bullying. Mm-hmm. For me, myself, but Mel has.
Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying, when we were talking about it on yesterday, what was the standard operating procedure? Because I know you were listening because you presented a very good argument as it related to that on yesterday. When folks are called into the principal's office, it's really no resolution. And the argument that you presented online was that when you looked through the student code of conduct, there is nothing in the student code of conduct that says that a student cannot defend him or herself. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I don't think parents are clear on. That is something that, according to the discussion we had yesterday, it's not discussed, even though you guys are given the student code of conduct book at the beginning of the school year. Nobody discusses that with you. Now, did I have that right? Hello? Maybe it is us. Because he's gone. Is it still live? The line's still live?
Yeah, it's still live.
I don't know what happened.
I'm going to close him out and see if he'll call back.
Okay.
Tell him call your phone and put it up you can put it up underneath the mic.
Okay.
Where they'll hear it. That was very interesting. Mm-hmm. You are so welcome, Jonte.
Hello. Hey,